if you're always feeling tired and exhausted, not just physically, but also mentally, in this video, I'm going to break down a checklist, a simple checklist that you can start following today to get your energy level back up. Okay? That way you feel well and you can be productive in your career, but also you're going to have that energy to finish up at work and still have time for your family, all right, or even just enjoying the social life. These are things that I teach my private coaching clients who are very, very busy. You know, they have high level careers where they're always on the go, demanding careers. And so, you know, I'm going to share with you what I share with them to get you unstuck. Okay, the first thing is this: you got to start looking at food not just in a way of like weight loss. That's what most folks look at food as. It's just like, oh, if I'm trying to lose weight, then I'm going to focus on eating healthy. If I'm trying to lose belly fat, I'm going to focus on cutting out sugars and cutting out sodas and cutting out simply lemonades and things like that. That's a part of it. You do want to be eating fairly decent. You know what I'm saying? You do have to be eating healthy. But the other side of it is the people who are like the top dogs, the people who tend to win in life, they're looking at nutrition and food as energy. Because most folks who tend to eat a lot of chips, trail mix, crackers, just a snack to keep them going throughout the day, those people tend to find themselves having brain fog. Those people tend to find themselves having type 2 diabetes because of the quality of the foods they're eating. But if you don't want to have to worry about health issues, you don't want to have to worry about low energy and feeling tired and sluggish and brain fog, the successful people understand the way that they eat gives them energy and helps them lean out. Okay? And so you want to focus on eating proteins, eating healthy fats, eating fibrous carbs and fruits and vegetables. Okay? Yes, you're going to lean out by default eating these types of foods. But if you're like me, you don't want to just look good, you want to feel good. And so that way you can excel in your career. You're not just trying to survive, you're able to thrive. And so to do that, you have to prioritize your nutrition. That way you can think efficiently. That way you can focus in your career. That way you can look and feel your best in your career. Very, very critical, guys, if you want to excel and have a quality life. You know, if a person is tired all the time, the quality of life is just going to be less. You know, I know at times in my life where I didn't understand nutrition. I used to eat chips all the time, go to McDonald's and getting sausage McGriddles. And even though it tasted good, I was exhausted. I didn't have any energy. I had brain fog all the time. I had acid reflux. Even back then, I used to have eczema all on my hands, all because of the quality of food that I was eating. But once I made the shift to eating better quality foods, I'm doing well, King. Hope you're doing well. Once I shifted to eating better foods, my energy went through the roof. I was able to think and focus more efficiently for longer periods of time. And I even started to look better, even though I had already been working out. And so, very important. That's the first shift, okay? Look at food as energy. The second thing is this. A lot of people don't realize this, but I want you to just imagine walking around with a 30, 40, 50 plus pound book bag all day. From when you wake up in the morning to getting out the bed, to doing everything that you got to do, going to work, leaving work, coming home, you have that 50 plus pound book bag on your back the whole day. How much tired are you going to be? How the aches and the pains and all this are you going to have carrying that 30, 40, 50 plus pound book bag? Guys, this is what a lot of people are doing with their weight. And they wonder why they don't have the energy. They wonder why they're feeling tired. They're wondering why they have the aches and the pains. They're wondering why, you know, I hear people say it's just not enough time in the day. Imagine going through life with that 30, 40, 50 plus pound book bag on and saying to yourself, man, it's just not enough time in the day. And then that 2.0 version of you who doesn't have that book bag on, that version of you who doesn't have the book bag on, how much more productive will you be able to be on a daily basis not having that 30, 40, 50 pound book bag on? Most people will say way more productive. That's what happens when a lot of my clients drop weight. They become way more productive. way more energized, like glowing with energy and confidence, because they feel better. They don't just look better. And so you got to think to yourself, 3 to 6 months from now, you're down 30, 40, 50 pounds, which is totally doable. Very realistic. How much more energy will you have to be able to excel in your career and in your personal life? And so dropping the weight is going to help you boost your energy and also reduce your stress. Because make no mistake, guys, weight, extra weight, whether it's fat weight or muscle weight, it causes stress. If you had a 50-pound book bag on your back all day, you are going to be stressed. You're not just going to be tired. You're not just going to be achy. It causes stress. Okay? And so most people I help are already high performers, high achievers, successful, and we already put a lot of stress on ourselves. We're just grinding. We don't want to add to that stress by having extra 30 plus pounds on us. It's already stressful enough. And so let's make our life easier by reducing the weight. Okay? The last thing, number 3, movement will generate more energy for you. Movement will generate more energy for you. Most people think that just exercise is just all about looks and vanity and building muscle and burning fat. And there's a place for that. But a lot of people don't realize moving gives you energy. A lot of people who say, man, I'm just too tired. I'm just too busy. Well, imagine if you moved more and you actually got more energy from moving. I think we've all been in places in our life where we're just sitting down, sedentary. I know I have. And really tired, brain fog. I can't even think straight no more because I've been working sitting down so long. And I go up, get out and go for a 20, 30-minute walk. And I feel brand new. Or I go get me a 20, 25, 30-minute workout in. Feel brand new. It's like having a second wind. You know, like you see pro athletes and even just sports in general. Like I ran track growing up, high school and college, and, play football. And there was a certain point when I would start running around the track, like that first 2 or 3 laps, brutal, brutal. But then after that first 2 or 3 laps, like I hit a second wind and I was just like coasting. It was just so much easier. That's kind of like what happens when you use movement via exercise and even just walking. It's going to give you more energy. And so ask yourself, like, how active are you really? Like, are you exercising and just walking on a daily basis? Because you can have 2 people. Most people, they just typically say they're busy and they just don't have the time in the day. But then there's other people where they exercise, they eat better, and they find that they have a lot more time because they have more energy to utilize that time. And so it's not that we're too busy, it's just that people have to have the right systems in place in their life to maximize the time that they do have. And so most people just don't have structure with their workouts. They don't have structure with their eating habits. And so they default to saying, I'm too busy. But I'm pretty sure you and I both know somebody who's just as busy, if not more busy, but they're still in shape. They still look good. How can they do it? And we see aspiring figures like The Rock, and we see, all other types of Tony Robbins. They're extremely busy. Jeff Bezos. All of them are still in shape. And they have tons of things on their plate. But they still manage to look decent. They're in shape, and they're not, tired and exhausted and just 30, 40, 50 pounds overweight. It's about having the right structure. And that movement is kind of like, I'm about to show my age a little bit, but, I just remember looking at like cartoons and TV shows back in the days, and they had this, normally it would be like at farms, and the lights wouldn't come on until they would rotate this little handle. And they had to rotate the handle a whole lot, and then after a while, that movement would make the light up in the barn or in the farm or wherever, right? They just had to put the energy in that motion, created energy and light, okay? This is what we have to do to create more energy for our body. Our bodies are so powerful, extremely sophisticated, but we have to understand how to learn and master our body. A lot of life is physiology. If we don't feel well, we won't be able to be as productive in the world because we're just tired. But if we start to move more, we feel more compelled to do more. We start to eat better. We feel compelled to be able to think more efficiently and effectively and longer because we're eating better versus eating bagels and donuts and frappuccinos for breakfast, having brain fog when we're going into work. We can eat better food options that are going to give us energy. A lot of people think it's the work that they do at work that's draining them. They have a stressful career. They're working long hours. It's not that. We all know people who are extremely busy, just like we are, but they look really good and they're in really good shape, really good health. How are they able to do it with their busy schedules while other people are not? They make different decisions with the foods that they eat. They make different decisions with exercising. They have structure in place for these things that fit their goals and also their life. That's what it's about. They're not doing generic meal plans. They're not doing these extreme workout plans. They're not doing strict diet plans. They're following plans that fit their goals in life. And when you get this, you're able to boost your energy, having energy all day long, right? You're able to look and feel your best because by default, when you eat better and when you eat the right way and also train the right way, you will also find yourself looking better, looking and feeling good, okay? That's what this is about. And if you're like me, you have people who look up to you, who aspire to be just like you. You have to be that example for them. Most people will just complain and make excuses. The high achievers, they find a way out of no way because they have a bigger mission. They have a bigger purpose. And so they don't have the option of just making the excuse. They don't. They have people who depend on them. They have family, they have children, they have partners who are looking up to them and they're dependent on them. Even some of y'all have team members in your career. You know, you're running businesses. People who are depending on you to raise the bar, raise the standard. And so raise your standards of living with the type of foods you're eating, with the way you're exercising and taking care of your body, even sleeping. And you'll notice the people around you are going to start getting better too. All right? That's what this is about. These are the type of people that I help. They have bigger missions than just, I want to look good. Looking good is cool, but it's a reason most of them want to look good. They may want to have an image that inspires, that makes people want to do better in life, you know, or they may want to look and feel their best. That way they can just do even more for the people they love and care about. They can have more capacity to do more, okay? And when you get in shape, I have noticed a lot of my clients, they have more capacity to do way more once they get in shape. And so use this checklist, the nutrition, dropping the weight, and getting moving, like motion, all right? Gives you energy also. If you would like my help, you want structure on what steps you need to take, minus all the guesswork to build a body that you're proud of, I'll drop a link down in the description below and we can talk more. Let's get it.